One more email came saying that when we were dwelling seriously on the aspect of prayer, especially Gandhiji's words, it was more revealing. So the devotee wanted us to dwell more and more on this prayer aspect. So we thought then, if we share some more wisdom teachings of Gandhiji, probably it might enable us to know more about the efficacy of the prayer. How should we pray? What should be the background? We will just go through that one by one. The spiritual practice which Gandhiji has been adhering to intensely made him to say, the intense spiritual practice of Gandhiji made him to say this: there is not a moment when I do not feel the presence of a witness whose eye misses nothing and with whom I strive to keep in tune. The prayer, what is the prayer? What is the right prayer? Words. Heart without words. Because when words come, the natural tendency is our concentration will be on the words. Actually, it has to come from the depth of our being. When it comes from the depth of our feeling, words may not be there. But feeling is there. A heart without words. Not that the words we utter is bad. Only we have to ensure that both go together. None of us need to think that vocal prayer has no, it's not like that. Vocal prayer is also effective, provided it goes along with the feelings of our heart. And what is the result? This is the result he says. There is not a moment when I do not feel the presence of a witness whose eye misses nothing and with whom I strive to keep in tune. I may feel disconnected with that witness, He is there, Sakshi. Even now, he is there to everybody. We may not be aware, but he is there. So we are striving to become aware of the witness in us. But first of all, that because he had the glimpse, it is not merely a faith. A faith has led him to that experience, and then that experience is keeping him. And prayer is a method to always link with that experience. That is why it is said heart without words. The experience is there, the feeling of it is there, but need not necessarily be through. But we can also have words. God knows and antipathies. The deity does not need any supplication. But I, a very imperfect human being, do need his protection as a child that of its father. And yet I know that Nothing I do is going to change his plans. You may call me a fatalist if you like. In the ashram, at the evening prayer, we recite the last 19 verses of the second chapter of the Gita, as well as sing a hymn and repeat Ramnam. These verses describe the characteristics of Sthita Prajna, which a Satyagrahi too must acquire, and are recited in order that he may constantly bear them in mind. Repeating the same thing at prayer from day to day is objected on the ground that it thus becomes mechanical and tends to be ineffective. It is true that the prayer becomes mechanical. We ourselves are machines. And if we believe God to be our mover, we must behave like machines in his hands. If the sun and other heavenly bodies did not work like machines, the universe would come to a standstill. But in behaving like machines, we must not behave like inert matter. We are intelligent beings and must observe rules as such. The point is not whether the contents of the prayer are always the same or differ from day to day. Even if they are full of variety, it is possible that they will become ineffective. The Gayatri words among the Hindus have been recited by millions for centuries every day, and yet their power has not diminished, but is ever on the increase. It all depends upon the spirit behind the recitation. If an unbeliever or a parrot repeats these potent words, they will fall quite flat. On the other hand, when a believer utters them always, their influence grows from day to day. Our staple food is the same. The wheat eater will take other things beside wheat, and these additional things may differ from time to time, but the wheat bread will always be there on the dining table. It is the eater's staff of life, and he will never weary of it. If he conceives a dislike for it, that's a sign of the approaching dissolution of the body. The same is the case with prayer. Its principal contents must be always the same. If the soul hungers after them, she will not quarrel with the monotony of the prayer, but will derive nourishment from it. She will have a sense of deprivation on the day that it has not been possible to offer prayer. She will be more downcast than one who observes a physical fast. Giving of food may now and then be beneficial for the body. Indigestion of prayer for the soul is something never heard of. The fact is that many of us offer prayer without our soul being hungry for it. That means as a matter of routine, suppose we repeat prayer. This is what had happened to all of us, Because we say it's a routine, So Gandhiji has been blunt in this. The fact that many of us offer prayer without our soul being hungry for it. When we repeat the prayer, Prabhu Vishwanatha, are we trying to be in that mental state when Papa drafted that universal prayer? The purpose of putting it, with that steel pen he has written, the other day we showed you. It came from within. It was his revelations. Suppose we take it as a routine. Ramnam session is over now. Yes, universal prayer now. That's what we do now. Then peace prayer, then Prabhu Vishwanatha. Everything is a routine. The fact is that many of us offer prayer without our soul being hungry for it. It's a fashion to believe that there is a soul. So we believe that she exists. Such is the sorry plight of many among us. Some are intellectually convinced that there is a soul, but they have not grasped the truth with the heart. Therefore, they do not feel the need for prayer. Many offer prayer because they live in society and think they must participate in activities. We, ashram, no? Many offer prayer because we live in ashram and think that we must participate in that activity. No wonder they hang after variety. As a matter of fact, however, they do not attend prayer. They want to enjoy the music or merely curious or wish to listen to the sermon. They are not there to be one with God. So, prarthana, prayer, literally means to ask for something, that is, to ask God something in a spirit of humility. Here it is not used in that sense, but in the sense of praising or worshipping God. What is it?
Whose connection?
No. Here it is not used in that sense, but in the sense of praising or worshipping God, meditation, self-purification. But who is God? God is not some person outside ourselves or away from the universe. He pervades everything and is omniscient as well as omnipotent. He does not need any praise or petitions. Leave it. Being immanent in all beings, He hears everything, reads our innermost thoughts. He abides in our hearts and is nearer to us than the nails are to the fingers. He is nearer to us than the nails are to the fingers. What is the use of telling Him anything? It is in view of this difficulty that prarthana is further paraphrased as self-purification. When we speak out aloud at prayer time, our speech is addressed not to God but to ourselves and is intended to shake off our torpor. Some of us are intellectually aware of God, while others are afflicted by doubt. None has seen Him face to face. We desire to recognize and realize Him, to become one with Him, and to seek to gratify that desire through prayer. This God whom we seek to realize the truth, or to put in another way, truth is God. This truth is not merely the truth we are expected to speak. It is that which alone that constitutes. Anyway, that is about truth. To propitiate this truth is prarthana, which in effect means an earnest desire to be filled with the spirit of truth. Therefore, we offer prayers for a short time in the hope that a time will come when all our conduct will be one continuously sustained prayer. We offer prayers for a short time in the hope that a time will come when all our conduct will be one continuously sustained prayer. That means union with God. Such is the ideal of prayer for the ashram, which at present is far, far away from it. They were also finding the same difficulty. If the ashram prayers are still not attractive, if even the inmates of the ashram attend them under compulsion of a sort, it only means that none of us is still a man of prayer in the real sense of the term. If the ashram prayers are not still attractive, if even the inmates of the ashram attend them under compulsion of a sort, it only means that none of us is still a man of prayer in the real sense of the term. In heartfelt prayer, the worshipper's attention is concentrated on the object of worship, so much so that he is not conscious of anything else besides. The worshipper has well been compared to a lover. The lover forgets the whole world and even himself in the presence of the beloved. The identification of the worshipper with God should be closer still. It comes only after much striving, self-suffering, tapas, self-discipline. In a place which such a worshipper sanctifies by his presence, no inducement need to be offered to people for attending prayers, as they are drawn to the house of prayer by the force of devotion. One who never prays by himself may attend congregational prayers but will not derive much advantage from them. This is another point, Individual prayer is more important than congregational prayer. Individually I pray universal prayer, or prayer for the world peace. And then when I go to the bhajan hall and I join, I will have the same feeling, There nobody hears when I pray. O Lord of the universe, O Creator, Protector and Destroyer of the world, I come in all humility to Thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to Thee. I will be conscious, What am I praying? So going along with the theme. So our individual prayer, according to Gandhiji, individual prayer should be there intensely taken up. Then attending the congregational prayer will give a boost. Very good. One who never prays by himself may attend congregational prayers but will not derive much advantage. They are absolutely necessary for a congregation, but as a congregation is made up of individuals, they are fruitless without individual prayers. Same thing applies to Ramnam. Individually praying Ramnam, chanting Ramnam, will get a boost in the congregational chanting. That then if I intensely chant Ramnam, 1 mala, 2 malas, whatever is possible, with all the feelings, that I am chanting the name of one who is within me, I am chanting the name of one who is making me to chant. Like that, when we apply our mind, because we are alone, we are doing the prayer alone. With that training of the mind, when I go and join the congregational Ramnam chanting, it will become more and more effective. We have to watch ourselves, from our own experience here. From decades we have been chanting. The joy we feel at the time of chanting fades away immediately after we come out of it. Fades away means what? We are unable to hold on to the God thought, because it is not backed up by individual sadhana. We will read once again. One who never prays by himself may attend congregational prayers but will not derive much advantage from them. They are absolutely necessary for a congregation, but as a congregation is made up of individuals, they are fruitless without individual prayers. Every member of the ashram is therefore reminded now and then that he should, of his own accord, give himself up to self-introspection at all times of the day. No watch can be kept that he does this, and no account can be maintained for such silent prayer. No watch can be kept that he does this prayer. No account can be maintained for such silent prayer. Then we may ask why congregational prayers are there. It becomes a man to remember his Maker all the 24 hours. To remember my Maker. No? If that cannot be done, we should at least congregate at prayer time to renew our covenant with God. Mass singing of Ramdun and the beating of Tal are its outward expression. If they are not a mechanical performance but are an echo of inner unison, they generate a power and an atmosphere of sweetness and fragrance which has only to be seen to be realized. Here also we are given, the punch is given, no? If they are not a mechanical performance but are an echo of the inner unison with God, they generate a power and an atmosphere of sweetness and fragrance which has only to be seen to be realized. There can be no such thing as compulsory prayer. A prayer to be prayer must be voluntary. But nowadays people entertain curious ideas about compulsion. Thus, if the rules of your institution require every inmate to attend common prayer, in my opinion, you are bound to attend it as you are attend to your other duties. Your joining the institution was a voluntary act. You knew or ought to have known its rules. Therefore, your attendance at prayer I would regard as a voluntary act. In spite of your objection, this can be done by joining the prayer with your heart in it. So like that, every now and then, Gandhiji brings about the way how to offer our prayer. And during this year, inter-study of In Quest of God, we don't need any other book now. Because the moment you go to any chapter, you will find Papa praying. We have not given importance for that so far. That is why we have not been able to derive the benefit out of it. When the count was taken, 450 times he said Ram. Most of it must be in the form of a prayer. So prayer has become an integrated part of the Papa's sadhana. So along with Ramnam, along with dwelling on the attributes, along with solitude, along with expanding the love circle, prayer was also been going on. And in the cave, outpourings, they bring out these struggles, prayers and experience. But every time we should know that we should be able to travel along with the theme. Initially we read the prayer, okay? Then we again go through the prayer. Again we go through the prayer. And then we slowly try to enter into the theme. No? Individually. Not in a congregation. Because so that when it is heard, we are not just hearing it, we are again traveling. The inward journey still goes on. The inward journey which we had with the theme, we are able to relive those moments. So when we close our eyes and repeat universal prayer or peace prayer, prayer for world peace, now we know that it is not a prayer composed by somebody. God makes us to repeat it because we are yet to bring out a prayer of our own. So until such time, we need to go along with the theme. When we say the eye of the eye, we stop individually, Collectively, we have to immediately go to the next line. We have hardly any time to go dive deep into each and every word. Suppose at 12:15, we start the universal prayer. What happens? There is a time set for it. 11:30 to 12:15, Ramnam. It has to be for an organization. There should be some time-bound programs. So immediately we say, "O Lord of the universe, Creator, Protector, Destroyer of the world, I come in all humility to Thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to Thee." Where is the time for me to dwell on the theme? So when I am alone, when I am repeating it, I take my own time to dwell on the theme and derive the maximum benefit out of it. And when I come to the bhajan hall and to join the congregational prayer, I will be able to relive those moments. It will be reflected in the way in which you repeat the prayer. Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om. So it will be a reliving of the moment. Reliving of the experiences we had when we were doing it alone. And then we close our eyes, and especially in ashram, all other prayers, others repeat. But when it comes to universal prayer, no need to repeat. That means not to keep quiet. Mentally travel with the theme. So when we enjoy reading it, even our modulation, even our thrust, that will be reflected there. It won't be, simply a recital. O Lord of the universe, O Creator, Protector and Destroyer of the world, I come in all humility to Thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to Thee. Deign to bless me ever with Thy remembrance. O merciful Lord of the universe, grant me power. Like that, when whatever we chant, we travel along with the theme. That is important. Theme is important, not the words. Whereas we concentrate on the words, not on the theme. There is a set tune for Prabhu Vishwanatha. We complete the tune. People who know Marathi, probably they might be able to go along with it to some extent. Otherwise, for others, the tune is important. But whereas, suppose we try to understand this, about 20-25 years back, all our Ayati program, everything is in Marathi, nobody knows. We simply repeat. So a person who comes from abroad, who was sitting and hearing this, he came and asked us, what does it mean? We don't know the meaning. We are also joining, for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So then we went to Puja Swamiji and told him, why not we translate the whole thing and get it printed? Because many of us don't know, many visitors, suppose they ask us, they also don't know. Then he said, okay. Then Anandashram took the lead of, in one language, and later on it was translated in different language with the help of so many people. So when we go through that with the meaning, then we get some idea, so that we go along with the theme to some extent. Now we are looking back. Papa wants us to make it clear to us that when we do the prayer should come from the bottom of the heart. When we do Ram Nam should come from the bottom of the heart. In an ashram, no doubt, there should be some time-bound program, so we conduct. But the real purpose will come only when we individually practice and derive the maximum benefit out of it. Because here we have got ample time to concentrate on the team again and again and again and again. But whereas when we go and sit in the for the program, we can't do that. Everything will get derailed. So there has to be a system. So we prepare ourselves before joining the congregational prayer. That is what he said. Gandhiji made it very clear. Unless it is backed up by individual effort, it may not serve the purpose fully. Some benefit will be there. But we want the fullest benefit, from the prayer. So when we look back again, when you go through In Quest of God, we find every chapter, suppose we make why not we locate the prayer? Where all he prayed.
Swamiji, those who read even the prayers in the bhajan hall with feelings, that makes others also go through the theme with the feeling. So it helps even others.
Provided the theme is understood by us. I don't say literally complete. A broad idea should be there, that's all. Otherwise, it will be simply parrot-like. Whereas the prayer has come from the depth of his experience. So we should go nearer to that now. So initially, we may not know. Battery is running low. Initially, yes, agreed. We may not know. So Vaishnava Janato, when we hear, we may not know Gujarati meaning. But the tune is so nice. Then we try to understand. Then we type out, Nowadays, Google Baba is helping us, Any prayer, suppose we type out, we say, or any song nowadays, bhajan song, anything. Google Baba is helping us with the meaning. Even a Gita shloka, suppose we are not well conversant with Sanskrit. We might be able to chant, but not well conversant at all. That schooling was not at all there. So then whenever we want any particular one, meaning, we go to Google Baba. And when we type out, he gives out the same thing. So when we go along with this meaning, then we derive the maximum benefit, joy. Otherwise, in a congregation, we have the sentimental satisfaction of having joined, that's all. And some broad idea will be there, no doubt, that we are praying to the Lord. Is that enough? It depends upon the person. But we feel, based on our own experience here, the impact is not reflected in our thoughts, words and deeds. When we say, O Lord of the universe, when you say, O Creator, Protector, Destroyer, I come in all humility to thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to thee. What does it mean? Every thought of mine, every act of mine, every deed of mine is offered to him. No. Okay. Is that clear?
True. Yes, sir.
Very important point. Yesterday and today, Papa wants us to have a clear-cut idea about the about the background of the mind while we pray. Initially, we may not know, we have a broad idea that it is a prayer to the Lord. But we are talking about not that it is bad, but later on, what is important is to dwell more and more on it. It will be preferable to know the meaning, so that the heart will be traveling with you. Otherwise, words are only traveling. So in order that the heart is also traveling, that means the feeling develops, it will be better to go deep into the prayer. Individually we try to practice. Individually we try to derive the benefit. And when we come and sit in the congregation and join the prayer, we will be able to relive those moments when we were doing it as an individual practice. Same applies to any discipline like Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam, everything. All slokas. Gita chanting. Because at least then only the mind will travel with us, It becomes superficial, unknowingly, not that we don't want. Because initially when we were children, parents will or the elders will chant and we join. We don't ask any meaning. Later on, as we develop, we ask ourselves, what is the use of my repeating it? It can't be for bad, because elders were doing, they were finding some joy. Either we go and ask them, or we read the meaning and again then join. That is how it gets developed, And God guides us. So prayer is a very important one. Today the clarity has come to us that the individual prayer, the congregational prayer should be backed up by individual prayer. Very, very important. And the in-depth study of Inquest of God suddenly makes us to realize we have not applied our mind on those lines. That in almost all chapters, Papa prays to him. Right from the second chapter, you remember? Before he took the final plunge of leaving everything, it was prayer, prayer and prayer only. And then every time, when he meets with different types of experiences, when God makes him to go through different types of experiences, Papa resorts to prayer. Even when he was...
Chanting Ram Nam with emotional fervor can be treated as a prayer, Swamiji?
Both are same. According to us, both are same. Because when he says that we should know while chanting that we are chanting the name of one who is within us, who is making me to chant. So the purpose of chanting is to make me aware of this truth. It's a prayer. So first, individually, when I chant, I try to develop this mental attitude. The chant, Papa used to say, Nama is the link between us and God. What does it mean? Now, prayer is a means, elsewhere he will say, it's a channel, Water is going on here there is a pit. How to divert? There will be a small channel. From the flowing water, it goes to this pit. Similarly, prayer is something like a channel. Individually, I am there in the pit. The cosmic force is flowing. There should be a connection between the cosmic flow to the individual flow, and which is called the prayer, which is called Ram Nam. That heart without words, We need not misunderstand that words have no significance. No. What he meant to us, it should not become superficial, lip level, mechanical. It should go along with, the heart should go along with the words. Or words should go along with the heart. Both should take place. Initially I may start with words. Then when the heart joins, I become. Or first I prepare myself and I use the words just to convey this. Because when silently I am doing it, I have no other botheration. No? Very, 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 very important point. So first, that is why we say self-originated. Why do we say self-originated prayer? Because this risk is not there. Self-originated prayer means we are not carried away by somebody's words. Because that is why the words are uttered, but theme is not gone deep into it. But when it is self-originated, that risk is also covered. Because only from our pining of the heart, from our intense aspiration, the prayer comes out. O Ram, like that, no, Papa, every chapter, no? He will say, O Ram, bless thy power. Second, O God, thy ways are wonderful. Just think that. If we go with that attitude and we try to plumb deep into it, we will find every now and then Papa does this prayer. Anybody? So prayer is very important. Inquest of God keeps on hammering this truth. And in Papa's case, it was all originated prayer. ये क्या हुआ?
Connection was there.
No. I must have put something on the keyboard. This book or something.
Touch.
Anything else on the aspect of prayer? We have that prayer in a small part.
Which prayer?
Yellow.
Swamiji, when praying for others, we do the same thing, correct?
Correct. Heartfelt prayer, no? From the bottom of the prayer, bottom of the heart. Somehow, please save him, no? When Papa saw the girl coming, losing her steps, losing her balance. Remember?
Himalayan journey.
Yes, Swamiji.
At that time, what did he do? The prayer came from, only he can save. And she was saved.
The last one.
Yeah. So prayer. Everything is there in this inquest of God. That is why we will say we don't have to go in for any other text. It is a manual. It is a life manual for a devotee.
Hey Swamiji, 15 minutes of Ram Nam really gives peace. So in one place when Papa gives Ram Nam and asked to chant for 15 minutes.
Quite right.
Swamiji, only when our mind gets clarity, that is, our mind doesn't know what we need actually whether to run the family or whether to think of only the all-pervading. So once we get the clarity in the mind, it comes automatically as prayer. Is it that prayer has to come first and then we get the clarity, or?
We are not planning. God will, when we are on the path, whenever we need the help of the prayer, He will introduce to us, make us to hear. Our job is to somehow maintain His remembrance. So when we fail, there will be a pining in our heart to remember Him. It immediately comes out in the form of a prayer. We suppose our prayer can also come like this. The question was whether I should be with the family or this. Even then, that means we are separating Him from this. So when we pray only, we have come to understand that whether we are with the family, without the family, whether we are in the temple, outside the temple, whether we are in the ashram or outside the ashram, whether we are working in a company or not, God is with us. At no time He is away from us. So which field is taboo for us? All these things will come from prayer. So God will see to it that that particular time you will get in touch with such type of prayer. For Thy glory, for example. O Lord, I have nothing to ask of You. I am blessed with all that one can hope for. I have a mind to think. It is Thy glory. I have eyes to see, ears to hear. All these are Thy glory. I have in front of me a world so vast, so variegated, enough for me to express myself. Again, it is Thy glory. I can make, I can unmake. All these possibilities are again Thy glory. You are there in the form of life, That is why it's possible. I can even make this prayer to You. This capacity to appreciate You is again Thy glory. I seek from Thee nothing. For You have given me everything. Inside me, outside me. Your presence is something that I can't miss, I don't want to miss. Let Thy grace be upon me, not to gain anything new, but to make me see Thy glory. In all my achievements, in all my capacities, let me see Thy glory. See the prayer, no? It's not a supplication. It is not that we are praying for anything else. Let Thy grace be upon me, not to gain anything new, but to make me see Thy glory. In all my achievements, in all my capacities, let me see Thy glory. O Lord, I have nothing to ask of You. This is also a prayer. It touches and kindles,
Swamiji, you said God has given us individuality, the gift of individuality. So even the prayer should be individual, no?
Exactly. Individual prayer, individual sadhana is necessary,
For cosmic effect.
For one's own progress. That will be reflected in the cosmic level. It is not it starts from my own purification.
Yes.
And when I become pure, naturally the outside world will also get benefited by it.
நான் மாத்திரம் இருந்தா போதும், என்ன மாத்திரம் காப்பாத்துறப்பான்னு சொன்னா நல்லா இருக்குமா?
அப்படி இருந்தா பெரும் தொடக்கத்தில் நம்ம பியூரிட்டி கிடைக்கணும். It is not the material things that we are talking about.
இல்ல, எல்லாருமே நல்லா இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு நம்ம வேண்டிக்கணும்.
எல்லாருமே நல்லா இருக்கணும்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம நல்லா இருக்கணுமே. அதானே அந்த ப்ரேயருக்கு ஒரு சின்சியரிட்டி. ಸಿನ್ಸಿಯರಿಟಿ ವರ್ತಕ್ಕೆ it is good. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. We chant, we know the result. When somebody asked Puja Mataji that when she started this 15,500 crores of Namajapa Yajna for Vishwa Shanti, even after doing so much, the world is not free from Shanti. Is not free from that which is against Shanti. Then Mataji said, with what attitude we are chanting? Is there a real pining in our heart that there should be Vishwa Shanti? We are uttering the words, that's all. At the time of chanting, do we really mean, do we really pray?
Swamiji, is it not original prayer?
Which one?
Vishwa Shanti?
No, one will know whether it is an individual prayer or not, or whether we are following Mataji's instruction.
Yes.
Only that person will know,
Yes.
Mataji has awakened us, placed before us, because you are a part and parcel of, she always maintains, Papa's ashram is the whole universe. So naturally, we have to pray for the welfare of everybody. But knowing that we should pray, Initially, it will be for accounts. Okay, I have done so much Mara, I have to give 15,500 crown I need. It is needed. It is needed. Otherwise, I will never get started. It will never become a part of my life. But after some time, I start thinking, Mataji said it's for world peace. That means I should not become self-centered. I should not become selfish. I should not always encourage me to me. I should become me to we. Am I doing it? So without moving from me to we, suppose I keep on chanting this, will I get the real benefit of Vishwa Shanti? So Vishwa Shanti will become a reality only when everybody starts praying and doing with an expansive heart.
Sure.
So Mataji's Sankalpa is 100% right. The only thing is, if there are still disturbances, it is because we are not praying. Even Puja Swamiji uttered this, when Puja Swamiji fell sick in ashram, that is the usual practice. We also add our prayer every day. So somebody went and asked Swamiji, in spite of so many, all the devotees all over the world, they are praying for this thing. Still, why is it that? Then Swamiji smiling with the slow voice, he said, it should go along with the heart. If the prayer is sincere, it will be heard. Not that we want to be insincere. Nobody does it. But the sincerity should be there, It is a next item. Oh Lord of the universe, then next item. They like that, Oh, beginningless and endless Param Puja Papa. Next one. Prayer, please pray. That is how we are used to it. We don't have time also to go deep into it because our time-bound program. That is why we cannot disturb those things there. But when we are in our room, when we are at home, we try to practice it individually and to pray to Him to give us the needed concentration so that the sincere feeling wells up in our heart. So today, through Gandhiji, Papa is making it as clear to you that to all of us that individual prayer is a must. Individual prayer, individual Ramnam, when it is with that background, when we join, then the effect will be definitely more. Not that we should stop anything. We should add something, that's all. In an organization, we cannot blame, only that can be done. Suppose as we keep on now lecturing, suppose at 12:15 we start, what will happen? The Arati session will go on till 2 o'clock or 2:30. So it has to be time bound. That reality we can understand. From 5 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock, the forenoon session is filled with time-bound programs. Otherwise, it will not go in a systematic manner. So nothing wrong with holding on to the time schedule. But if I have to derive the benefit out of it, I must do it individually, derive the benefit, relive those moments, and then eke out the benefit. Is it becoming clear?
Hari Om, yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes, Swamiji.
Very powerful message.
Huh?
Very powerful. Very, very powerful message. Thank you, Swami.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Swamiji,
Ah,
in spite of all this, when we are in the bhajan hall, even in the congregational prayer, we feel so full when we come out of it.
it is.
We feel full.
At that time,
Fullness.
nobody says that you are not getting any benefit. What is important is whether it is percolating deep into it. That is the one, Just like when we go to a temple, Which temple is famous? Balaji temple. What exactly we do when we come out of it? We get a thrill after his darshan. But we leave Balaji there and come back. If we carry Balaji with us, we will be able to remain, get the benefit out of it. So similarly, when we do it individually and when we attend the ashram program, at that time it becomes full, not only at that time. We leave the Ramnam at the Bhajan Hall or Samadhi Mandir. The moment we come out of the Samadhi Mandir after the program or the Bhajan Hall, immediately the me and mine dominates, is it not? Think about it.
Yes, Swamiji, understood.
Unknowingly, not that we mean anything bad. So that means it is not backed up by our individual sadhana. So it is not that belittling what we are doing. Everything we have to continue the same. We have to add we should know that individual sadhana is important to really make use of this. Not to merely depend upon the outer programs. Outer programs gives a push to our individual effort. Because Papa says in one of his quotations, it is quite possible in a congregation. Your mind gets into silence and transcends multiplicity, and you feel there is nobody about you. See? I become unconscious of the people, no? I become not unconscious. I am not aware of the people in and around me. I become one with the program there. In such a congregation, usually you will find some other person who is advanced on the spiritual path and is unconsciously producing a holy atmosphere and sanctifying it, as a result of which it is easy for an aspirant to still the mind. Therefore, for self-purification, it is rightly said that we must commune with the devotees of God who are constantly thinking of Him and who have attained some measure of peace and tranquility through union with Him. In such company, we find great help and our spiritual progress is accelerated. Rama. Nothing is to be stopped. Each one does help. But we are checking up now what happened to me even after decades. So I have to add something more, that's all. And that something more is individually my effort to dive deep into the prayer, dive deep into Ramnam, dive deep into the wisdom teachings of masters. It should be there. That is the clear-cut message Papa gives us today. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om Swamiji. Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.